Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to take a look at how easy the AmpulseRC Apex HD Frame goes together. Okay guys, the first step in building the frame is installing the press nuts. The press nuts go into the end holes of each arm. I'll put a picture up on screen now showing what the press nuts look like, but what you simply do is on the arms you have the motor cutout hole facing upwards, and you push the press nut into place in the end hole, then you flip it over, then you've got the bolt with one of these pressure loaders. You put the bolt into the pressure loader and you simply, from the other side where the press nut's been pushed into, flip it over and you screw that bolt into the press nut. You just simply tighten it up, and as you tighten the bolt up, the press nut will get pulled in, and you need to do this until the press nut is just below the level of the surface on each arm, like so. And you'll do that for each of the arms, and the press nut goes into the end hole. The other places that the press nuts are installed is on the bottom plate. The way you tell the difference is this piece of the bottom plate has countersunk holes. So this is the one that needs the press nuts installed into. The other one, as you can see, is basically identical on either side. It's got no countersunk holes. So we'll put that to one side. And the holes that you need to put the press nuts into is on the opposite sides of the countersunk holes. So you flip it over, you need to install a press nut into that hole, that hole, that hole and that hole. And that is all the press nuts installed. Okay guys, so we've installed the press nuts. The next job is to attach the arms to the lower deck. The part that we need is the lower deck part that hasn't got the press nuts installed. So this is the one we installed the press nuts into. So we'll put that to one side now. Okay guys, the holes we're going to be using in this step is these 4 holes here. And what we're going to do, we're going to be using M3 by 8mm bolts with a washer, a load bearing washer on each one. And we're going to pass the bolt with the washer into each hole and flip it over. Then with the motor cutout side facing upwards, we're just going to screw that bolt into the press nut, like so. Do that, tighten her up. Flip it over, tighten it down just to take the slack out. Check all 4 of those again. I'm doing them so that they're literally just tight. Okay, and that's the arms attached to the bottom plate. The next step, I'll put that to one side, is installing your stack bolts. With the kit, you get 3 different sizes of stack bolts. You get the really small ones. So you've literally got a choice of what size stack bolts you want to put in. For me, I'm going to be using the longest ones, and the stack bolts are installed to the bottom plate part with the press nuts in. And these simply go into the holes that are countersunk. The inside holes are 20mm mounting and the outside holes are 30mm mounting. I'm going to be using the 30mm, so my stack bolts, screws will be going in the outside holes. Once we've done that, oh, no, that one nearly made a mistake, guys. Yeah, that's better. We're gonna flip the plate over like so. Then on each one of the stack bolts, we're going to place a nylock nut.
And 4. Now what we need to do, guys.
Okay guys, now what we need to do is tighten these nylock nuts all the way down. Right, that's a smaller one. Quickly swap the bit. Okay guys, because they're quite long bolts, for the last two, I'm just going to quickly, just for speed and getting it done, I'm going to switch to my my power drill. That is a lot easier. So let's tighten down the last one. Yeah, if you've got power tools, guys, I advise that you use them in this situation anyway. There we go. Okay, so that's the 4 of those tightened down. We won't be needing the drill anymore, so we'll put that to one side. Okay, what I'll do is just quickly hand check, just to make sure that these are tightened down, because once the frame goes together, you're not going to be able to access these stack screws again without quite a bit of disassembly of the frame. So you want to make sure that these are super tight now. It's perfect. Check that one. Yep. And the last one. Yep, perfect. So there we go, guys. That's the stack bolts installed with the nylock nuts. On to the next step. Okay guys, for the next step, we're going to be completely putting the lower deck together. So for the next step, we're going to be using these M3 shoulder bolts. And what they look like is this. You've only got thread at the very end. So from there back, it's just smooth, like a smooth shaft. And that's what we're going to be using. So what we're going to do, we're going to be installing a shoulder bolt into each of these holes here, that one there, that one there, that one there, and that one there. So we'll install those. One in that one. One in that one. One in that one. And one in that one. Next, we're going to flip it over. We'll take the other part of our bottom deck, and those shoulder bolts that we've just pushed in, we're going to insert those and screw them in to the press nuts that we did first off. So we'll slot that onto there like so. I'm going to flip it over, and we're just going to start screwing those down. Again, just taking the slack out. Okay guys, the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to fully tighten all of these bolts, but we're going to do it in a circular cross pattern. So we'll start off with that one, then we'll switch down to that one, and we're just doing a couple of turns to each one until they're fully tightened. Okay guys, so that's pretty much the whole bottom of the frame done. Next step will be standoffs. Okay guys, next we're going to install the rear standoffs and the Impulserc antenna holder. The standoffs that we're using are the shorter ones. You get some 20mm ones and you get some longer ones. The back of the drone is the one with the higher top plate. So the lower one is the front, because you know you've got the camera mount side plate inserts there. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using 6mm M3s, and we're going to install the rear standoffs into these two holes here. So we'll slot that through. We'll screw on the standoff. Like so. Grab another screw, put it into that hole, screw on the other standoff. So what I'm going to do, before I tighten that up, I'm going to install the Impulserc holder, like so. Push that all the way down to the bottom. And then we're just going to tighten the M3 screws down, like so. There's that one, and there's that one. That's what it looks like, guys. Hey guys, for the front standoffs and the front bump stop, we're going to be using these bigger screws. I'm going to pass one through each hole on the lower bump, and we're going to pass it up through the frame like so. I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to screw in the bigger standoffs like so. I'm just going to screw that one on there like so, and the second one. Okay, now for the other ones, we're going to be using slightly smaller, because we haven't got a bumper to go through, and also the reason we use the longer screws at the front is because that's what's going to take most of the impact. So we want these two standoffs to be super strong. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the next two screws. I'm guessing these are about 8mm. I'm going to pass them through these holes here, that one there, and that one there. You're going to flip it over, screw on the other two long standoffs, like so. Grab the other one. Like so. Next, we'll slot in the camera mounts. Okay, looking at these camera mounts, you've got the parts that push into the frame. Well, you've got two on that side and only one on that side. If we look at the bottom of the frame, there's only one hole, so they go in that way. So that side with the push-through piece will go face down. You push that into the frame. You might have to slightly rotate the stand off a bit because it's got such good tight tolerances, this frame, that the flat edge of the standoff has to run down the front of the side plate. Because these standoffs, guys, they're not circular, they're like hexagonal. Then with the standoffs in, what I'll do is I'll quickly flip it over again. I'll give it a couple more turns on them like standoffs, like so. Standoff bolts, sorry, like that. Okay, so that's the front standoffs installed and the camera side plates. Okay, next guys, what we're going to do is we're going to flip back to the back and place in the last two standoffs. With this build, because I'm going to be using DJI, I'd be using the other two shorter standoffs. But if you're installing like TSB, you would use this part, and this part would screw to the top plate like so, and you'd use these two really small standoffs and they would go like so. But as I'm using DJI, I'll be using the other two smaller standoffs. Grab a couple of screws, that one and that one, and they'll be going into that hole there, and that hole there. Flip it over and screw in the last two standoffs, like so. And like so. Okay guys, so that's all the standoffs in now. All that leaves to do is the top plate, which we've got right here. Okay, there we go. So the top plate, you can see where the camera side plates go, you have two cutouts in the top plate. So we'll slot that down onto there. There we go. That one there. And that one there. Brilliant. No. There we go. Perfect. If we look at those longer stack screws, you've still got plenty of room between the top of the bolt and the top frame. And all we need to do is screw that down. Okay, for the front four, we want the slightly bigger ones. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 8mm M3s. And we'll screw those in. That's the front done. And on the rear, we want the smaller ones, which are about 4mm. So we'll quickly grab 4 of those. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and the M3 by 4mm go into the remaining 4 holes on the top plate. Screw that down. So literally the last thing you would do is choose which battery protector pad you would want to use. You've got the thicker rubber one, or you've got the really thin Velcro one, and you stick that on at the rear like so, which I won't do now because obviously I've got to take the top plate back off again to install all the electronics and such, and you just stick it down like so. Personally, I think I'll probably go for that one because the screws at the rear of the frame, they're not countersunk like they are on the QAVS, so that would just give you a little bit more protection, I believe. But yeah, there we go guys, that's the AmpulseRC Apex HD version of the frame. Really enjoyed building it. It went together really well, and the tolerances are perfect, absolutely perfect. I shall definitely look forward to getting this one kitted out. But yeah, a really nice frame. Well, that'll be it for this video guys. Thanks for watching. If you found that interesting, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help out, and I will see you in the next one.